Retired FBI Supervisory Special Agent John Nantz and business political commentator John Burnett and political strategist Jeanette Hoffman also. Mr. Nantz, give me your impressions of what you've seen so far.
Well, it's been kind of a mixed bag. I think the Republicans have been doing a pretty good job of trying to bring some really important issues to the forefront. I think Director Wray has, in some instances, done a fair job of addressing some of those issues. I think especially in regard to the intelligence report that came out of Richmond, I think the director had a fairly good answer with regard to that. He was pretty specific about it. When talking about Ray Epps or the raid on Mar-a-Lago, I don't think he addressed those questions very well.
And do you think, again, as a retired FBI agent, do you think that the FBI has significantly changed? And do you think that the accusations by the Republicans that the FBI has become increasingly politicized against conservatives is accurate?
Yeah, well, it certainly is not the bureau that I was hired into over 21 years ago. So what happened after 9/11 radically changed the direction of the bureau. Robert Mueller was caught a little bit off guard, I think, by some of Bush's questions. And many of these issues have been addressed in a really good book written by Mr. Baker. It's called The Fall of the FBI. Anybody serious about this topic really should read that book. And he talks about the culture change, and that really began with Mueller. And this move toward an intelligence model as opposed to investigating cases, even counterintelligence cases, based on a criminal theory of the case. And we're seeing a lot of the negative ramifications of that culture change today.
What would you do to fix it?
Well, I think we need a new director. It's not just about the director, however. It's also about the Attorney General, because the United States Attorney General is the FBI director's superior, his next superior in that chain of command. So when you have an AG like Garland, who doesn't seem to be quite so concerned about our civil liberties, it impacts on how the FBI does its work from day to day. In big picture terms, the AG has quite a bit of influence. So in broad strokes, we need to retake the White House in 2024. Hopefully we'll have someone who's very concerned about appointing constitutionalist attorney generals, a constitutionalist FBI director. And I know that Director Wray has talked about, well, the executive management that was in place during Crossfire Hurricane is gone. Well, that may be true, but that culture is still in place, and the Bureau is very much a top-down organization. So just as Robert Mueller was able to change the FBI culture in the wrong direction, so a good director, a constitutionalist director, one motivated to make sure those culture changes happen from top to bottom, will be just as successful in what I like to say, making the FBI great again.
Yeah, John Burnett, Americans, I think, historically, in general, trusting the FBI, feeling like they are going to protect us from the bad guys, as Congressman Jeff Van Drew pointed out when he was speaking earlier. But Americans, I think many Americans, have a very different view of the FBI now. Do you think this will play into the 2024 election, and if so, how?
I think it will play into the 2024 election. I think every voter will want to know from the slate of candidates, at least on the GOP side. The Democrats failed to actually put up several candidates. But in any case, I think they want to hear what changes will they make to what you just heard. They want to know, will you actually replace the FBI director? Who do you have in mind for Attorney General? Right? And then what will be your charge to those individuals on how they would actually operate differently going forward? You heard some of the questioning earlier in terms of, asking FBI Director Wray, is there a target list of churches and religious institutions? And he didn't answer the question. Perhaps the operative word should have been, do you have a surveillance list of churches and things of that nature, or actually school districts?
Yeah, this is very concerning to me. And especially to your point, John, what Congressman Van Drew was saying was this is bigger than just Trump and Biden. This is about all of us. This is about Catholics. This is about people expressing freedom of religion. This is about parents expressing the First Amendment rights to go to school board meetings being targeted. This is about big tech colluding with the FBI to censor conservatives. So the list just goes on and on about the toxic culture of politics in the FBI right now and how it needs to change.
All right, John Nantz, thank you so much. John Burnett, Jeanette Hoffman, stick around, and we have a lot more coming up.